Hi again. Today I'm going to start making my second small table. I want to try a few different techniques this time, in particular cutting and welding of circular tube metal. And I haven't done much woodwork recently, so it'll be nice to get back to a bit of woodwork. This is already marked up. Let me put on some safety gear and let's jump in and cut it. So there's a very light gluing together, just for now with super glue. The real strength of this table is going to come from the metal work underneath, and it's all going to be screwed together later. So here's the top of the table that I'm going to build, and I'm just going to make some sawdust and then water down a little bit of wood glue and fill this little join point in the middle. So there we go with a mixture of sawdust made from this same type of wood and a bit of wood glue and water. I'm just going to leave that probably overnight to dry, then sand it off and hopefully it'll look a lot better. So part of what I wanted to explore with this project was welding circular tube pipes together. So I've been doing a bunch of experiments with plastic pipes, and I've looked at a bunch of YouTube videos. It seems to me that this is the best way. If you want to do a 90-degree angle join, then you cut two 25-degree angles to either side. And at the end, you have to, there you go. At the end, you just have to, round off your edges slightly, but that gives a very good result. The other thing I would say is for a 45-degree angle, you go to the midway point of your pipe or tube and you cut from the midway 35 degrees. And again, at the end, you have to round it off slightly, but that gives you a very nice 45-degree angle joint. I know it seems a bit counterintuitive to do a 35-degree cut to the middle, but the reality is that gives you a good perfect 45-degree angle. And then obviously in a little while I'll get the flat disc out or the bench grinder and just smooth these off a bit before welding them together. It's hard and it looks to get them all to match up okay. Those three are just about good enough, but then this one. So I won't say, back to the grindstone. And using this, I can see that the offending corner is here. Hopefully that's good enough to get welding. So here I am the next day. I've done a bunch of arithmetic. These are my 4 legs. The pieces that are going to go in there and the pieces that are going to go in there. Now I did set up my angle grinder stand, but it seemed rather fiddly. I think it'd be quicker to use the bench grinder. So I've just gotten my protractor here like that. And I've drawn a 25-degree angle that way, 25-degree angle. I'm going to cut that out now. I'm going to cut that out and just mark it onto the ends of each of these pieces. Like that. So I've completed one piece, just using the deburring tool here. What I'm finding is you can actually hold it up to the other piece and just see if it's fitting or not, and if it's not, make a few little adjustments. Okay, here's the story so far. The top has had its second layer of varnish put on. These four pieces here are going to make the main frame that connects onto the wood. These four pieces here are the legs, the two long cross pieces and the two short cross pieces, and all these cross pieces have those funny shapes I was talking about before. And also it seems to me that on most projects you do a lot of hours and hours of shaping and cutting with the metal, and it seems to me that the welding is just the fancy little bit you do at the end. So theoretically, if I just weld all this up and screw it onto the wood, the table should be finished. Let's see. So here I am with the roughly welded table so far, and I'm just using this to get my angles hopefully pretty correct. As always, that was much harder than I anticipated. After a lot of difficulties, there we have it. Tomorrow I'm going to put on all of these cross pieces, but for today I've been baked in the Tunisian sun, enough for one day. Here I am, hopefully in the last stages of the table build. I've built a small little lower piece which I'm about to varnish. Here we have all the pieces of metal which I'm about to weld on like that. Of course, big surprise, everything was half a centimetre off and had to be resized. These are just placed in position loosely. But look, I'll do some welding, and hopefully after a clean up that'll be the end of it. And then finally I'm baking in the lovely Tunisian sunshine. So no, I'm not at the beach, but I've got some shade. Okay, let's see how we go with the final bits of welding. I'll just give you a little look at some of those joints that I've cleaned up there. There we go. I'm not going to give you too close up of a look. I built this, I gave it a quick coat of varnish. That fits in like that. But I'm going to go and paint it black first as well. So there you go, nearly finished. Very pleased with that. And my first ever go at welding circular tube metal. And voila, there's the fully finished version. Notice at the bottom I had to build in a couple of little feet for stability using that system. And very pleased with that. It's fully functional and bespoke. It was as a gift for my wife. So many thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Till the next time, all the best. God bless. Bye.